Wellness Warriors, welcome to this training where we're going to just be running through the first 3 workshops in order to establish your business. Now, when we think of what our business is, we need to create a sort of blueprint, a design for the structure of our business. And a lot of people go about this the wrong way. They start with a product, they start with their service, and then they think, okay, great, how can I get people to buy my product or service, which I think is amazing. So what we're doing is we're cutting through that and we're reversing the whole process and starting with our clients, starting with the people that we want to help who have real life problems, and we're starting with those problems and then looking at, okay, how can we offer something to them which is going to help them. So it's a completely different way of looking at business. It's very different from mainstream business, and this is what is going to separate you from the 95% of businesses which fail in the first 5 years, because you're really going to be focused in on people's problems and pains, and therefore you can change and adapt based on people's problems and pains, which also change and adapt. So in order to do that, we've got 3 worksheets here. And these worksheets are the niche psychologist, the niche insider, and your value megaphone. So starting with the niche insider, this is where we identify really clearly who our target market is. And we're going to be looking at the exact demographics. So number 1, we need to identify, are they male or are they female? Then we want to be looking at, what is the specific age group that they're in? So do they fall between 20 and 30? Do they fall between 25 and 35, or older or younger? You need to define this within a 10 to 12 year age range, because this is where you get your focus for your business. This is where you can start to craft something that's very uniquely suitable for your specific clients. Everyone's different. Everyone wants to be spoken to in a different way. Everyone has different wants and desires. So to go out and create some kind of blanket marketing or advertising is just going to annoy people, or worse, they're just going to completely ignore it. So let's just put in an example here, 30 to 40. Location, let's say our niche, or we are based in a particular area, let's say Sydney. Then we would look at focusing on people in Sydney to begin with, because it's a nice population size. It's there's plenty of people in Sydney, so we're not going to have any issues with regards to the market being too small. And if you've got just a purely online program, then just put the place which you feel is going to be most fruitful in terms of your targeting. So if you're selling an online course, then of course you're not going to be targeting people out in rural areas so much. You're not going to be targeting people out in the middle of whoop whoop, as we say here in Australia. You're going to be focusing on people who are more around the city, urban areas with a higher disposable income, who are going to be more ready to make a purchase online for your product. Now, again, you would go into looking at relationship status. Are they married, single, divorced, widowed? This is really important because it enables you, again, to get more specific on the kind of advertising you put out. See, a married person responds differently to a particular kind of advertising than a single person does. Different things are going to capture their attention. So really here, we want to get very, very clear on who it is we're targeting. Do they have kids? Yes or no? What are their hobbies? Let's say they like to row. Let's say they like going to the beach and they like rock climbing. So immediately you're seeing someone who's very physically active. So these kind of images are going to capture their attention when you start creating ads, when you start getting on the phone to speak to them for sessions. You're going to be discussing some of these things which they love, which builds rapport and is going to turn into more clients for you. So knowing all this stuff is absolutely critical. So let's say they're earning something between 70K to 85K per year. Again, they're going to have particular tastes in what they want and the kind of standard of product or service that they're demanding. And let's say these people are in the middle management corporate career. Corp or et. And some extra notes here. So you might say something like they spend most of their disposable income on travel. Anything that's going to be helpful in order for you to identify what they're like. What kind of TV shows they watch. They like watching My Kitchen Rules. which is going to reflect on the kind of Facebook pages they like and follow, which is going to reflect on the kind of targeting that you do. So you might not understand all of this right now, but it's just very important that you put absolutely as much detail into this as possible. That's the niche insider. Next, we have the niche psychologist, which is where we dig into their actual way of thinking. Now, this is very, very powerful. Spend some time on this. If you have to spend 30 minutes to an hour to more on this, really understanding how this works, getting this right is going to be the difference between you making a lot of sales and you making almost no sales. If you don't understand someone's pains, their nightmares, their desires, and the solutions, then you're not going to be able to help them. So let's look at their pains. What are their short-term pains and problems? So something might be they struggle
these prices, by the way, are
to
plus
get
GST,
a good night's sleep. One of our clients is a sleep therapist, so this is a good example for her. And that's just a short-term thing. So night to night, they struggle with having a good night's sleep. A nightmare would be they develop chronic fatigue and struggle to perform in their job, so they get fired. Can't feed family, living on streets. See, this is a nightmare. This is what this little symptom, this short-term problem would turn into if it was allowed to go on long-term. So you want to list a minimum of 10 problems that they're facing, 10 pains, and then a minimum of 5 nightmares. So the worst case scenario if their pains persisted. Write this out in real detail here, because this is going to be material you'll use to create ads that get their attention later on. Then their desires and solutions. What are their short-term fixes that they want right now? Okay, so if they're struggling to get a good night's sleep, the short-term fix would be they want a perfect night's sleep. Imagine that. Imagine if they could just go through an entire night without tossing and turning, without waking up, without lying there stressing out, and wake up in the morning feeling fully rested. So that could be another one. Feeling fully rested and energized. That's a solution, okay? So what would your people pay for it if you could solve this right now to get them a good night's sleep? What would you pay if you were struggling with sleep every single night and nothing you did could fix that? If someone came along and said, oh, look, I can teach you how to fix this so you never have to worry about struggling for sleep ever again. You can understand exactly what it takes to get the perfect night's sleep. Look, if someone came up to me and said that, and I was thinking about as either my entire life struggling with sleep, or I could have perfect sleep for the rest of my life, I'd pay them thousands of dollars, probably more than that, because your sleep is so important. So let's just put an example in here. Right now, I can say for a fact, I would be happy to pay $2,000 if someone came along and said, I can fix your sleep, and I was struggling with that. So put all of your ideas in here. What are the short-term fixes that they want immediately? They want to feel fully rested and energized. So what do they want more than anything long-term? There's a reason why they want a good night's sleep. They want to avoid this, losing their job. They want to avoid having the energy sucked out of their life. But what do they want? So they want energy so that they can go out and they can become a professional role. They want to be able to go traveling. They want to be able to progress through their career and generate a 6-figure income. These are all the outcomes that they want. So if they continue to take positive action, they fix their sleep, they fix their nutrition issues, or whatever it may be that you're specializing in, what would the amazing outcome be? Have the ultimate romantic relationship, the perfect romantic relationship, being able to show up for their partner and be everything that they're meant to be. So go through again and put in a minimum of 10 desires and solutions, and then a minimum of 5 long-term dreams that they really want. If they could keep going long-term, the ultimate dream situation. That is how you fill out the niche psychologist. And then lastly, we have the value megaphone. And this is where you go through and you look at what these people are actually looking for. So we've got commercial creator. Now this exercise goes through sort of like a spiel for what you do. So you can imagine if your clients, your prospects were looking at some ad and they started reading these words. Your life seems great, okay? You have, for example, a balanced diet and regular exercise. So this is where you fill it in with your own particular prospects information. So if you're targeting people who you want to help them with diet and exercise, you'd say something like that resonates with them. They have a balanced diet and exercise. Their career and passions. You've worked hard to progress in your career, spending quality time with friends and family. But you don't feel enough something. Pain. What is the pain? Pull this out of your niche your niche psychologist, one of those pains, and put it here. But you don't feel rested or energized. You are constantly pain number 1, pain number 2. Take those other pains you've put in there and put them in here. You're constantly tired and stretching to get through the day. Number 5, you lie awake at night worrying about nightmare, having a breakdown, getting burnt out, not showing up for your job, friends, family, getting fired, whatever it is. The nightmare, you want to take that out of your niche psychologist. You dream of the day when you'll get desire. What do they want to feel? Wake up feeling completely energized, well rested, ready to do anything. Get to the end of your day and you still feel energized and perform at your peak. Whatever that desire is that they want, their shorter term desire. But how can you have this desire? Your pain or problem is holding you back. How can you have peak energy all the time? Your chronic fatigue, sleep issues are holding you back from doing all the activities you want to do. Particular activity, become a professional rower, have an awesome relationship with my spouse, go traveling regularly. Then you go down to 8. It's not your fault and you're not alone. This is normalizing the problem for them, letting them know that they're not alone, that there is a solution. Now there is a solution, so you leave those two the same. Specifically created for people just like you, so you can finally have what you've been dreaming about. Specifically created for people just like you, so you can finally have desire, energy to go out, go to the club with your friends on a Friday night after a 50-hour work week, go rowing on Saturday morning instead of lying in bed in complete exhaustion. So you can finally have what you've been dreaming about. Paint the dream here. Now, this is where you go on an identity level. You speak to who they are. Because people make decisions based on who they believe they are, their self-concept. So you're reinforcing that for someone to get this solution, it's normal for someone like them to do that, okay? The reason you can have this is because you are empowering statement about your niche. The reason you can have this is because you're a strong, energetic woman. If your niche is women, then you talk about that. If your niche is men, you talk about whatever it is that they want to be perceived as. What is their self-concept? What belief do they want to have reinforced, which is positive and uplifting for them? Put that in there. Invest in my product service and you can be one of these people. Again, tie the product or service to their identity. Invest in my Energized Life program and you'll be one of those people, strong, powerful, energized women who can do anything they set their mind to. So that's that process for the commercial creator. And this is just an exercise to teach you what is involved in creating a commercial or a message that gets someone's attention. Number 2 is, this is more of a short-term billboard. So a commercial is a bit of a longer thing that you would put out. A billboard is like your 15-second statement that you would say quickly, this is how I help people. So we help, whoever you help, description people, achieve what outcome, promise or dream do you give them? Career-focused women achieve a constant peak state so they can perform at their best. By, what is your service? By helping them with medicinal herbs and diet design. And then put your summary together. This is just taking all of these and putting into one sentence. We help career-focused women achieve a constant peak energy state so they can perform at their best by helping them with medicinal herbs and diet design. That is your billboard created. That's your commercial created. That should take you 30 to 45 minutes. Go through and put all of those details in there, and then you'll be ready to start actually creating your business. But this is the whole foundation of it. Who are your people? What are they struggling with? What solution, problem do they need help with? And what are their desires and dreams? So go through now and do those exercises. And then once you complete, submit them on the Facebook group, Wellness Warriors International Facebook group.
So, like I said before,